Hello, everybody. Buddy with Midland, Texas. I saw something funny on Facebook here, so I shared it. And here it's them said, I never said that. And me holding up a printed copy of the private message, they're going, yes, you did say that. Here's the proof. And you can't imagine how many times that I print screen people and or recorded them and then posted that for proof. And I tell you what, I bet I've been threatened to be sued. I don't know how many times over capturing what somebody else said. And so I'm just going to go over a few of them, and I think I listed about 25 or something. And let me just go to the bottom. I think it'll be easier. That's where all the comments are. There we go. Let's set this to all comments. Okay, so here's the first one. Okay, I said Midland Sheriff candidate Joe Lozano was recorded, keyword recorded, secretly recorded, telling me that the secret underground homes here was a hideout for the late Sheriff Gary Painter. That's in that video right there, Sheriff Painter's hideout on my YouTube channel. Layla Obrian told me that the underground safe house project had a budget on permit for $7.35 million, and I have the print screen to prove it. I was later told that the City of Midland accidentally deleted all of the permit records. How convenient is that? Here's Layla, $7.35 million on permit. So she said, here's Julia. She went up and met with the City of Midland, and with a smile on his face, he gleefully told me how all the records had been accidentally deleted, And like their IT don't know how to make backups of government required records. Aaron Pachlhofer told me that 4 people had been murdered, died in my home, and I have the print screen to prove this too. He was then granted $72,000 from the Midland Development Court. It's unknown if this was hush money or if he had reported those murders as required by law. Okay. So once again, it's not my word against Aaron's word. Aaron also posted in the public that he's going to sue me. He's going to sue me because I took a print screen of what him telling me 4 people had been murdered, died at my house. That's why the question's coming up. Did you report that as required by law? Were you given hush money from the Midland Development Court to not report them 4 murders? How come nobody's been arrested? Who are their names? We got a lot of questions for Aaron Pachlhofer. A lady was recorded telling me there were 4 3-bedroom $1 million underground homes here, and they were having pedophile parties down there. I kept her anonymous, so these people don't kill her, these violent criminals protected by these corrupt police. FBI agent Powers was recorded telling me that he was going to destroy evidence that I mailed to their office, to the FBI office, concerning many crimes and murders. I have a video right there. You can hear him tell me he's going to destroy the evidence that I had mailed up there. It was a big binder full of evidence, too, of multiple murders and crimes, and I was just so surprised. I thought it was against the law to destroy evidence. Heather O'Donnell told me that she was hearing people in the attic for her home in Hobbs, New Mexico, one of the 50-plus other homeowners in the nation that have reported people in the attic since I was shot reporting people in the attic, and that her boyfriend, Donnie Cobb, shot a guy in Midland. I wondered if Donnie's the one that shot me, because she was reporting people in the attic, but I turned it over to law enforcement, nothing. Rhonda Denman Rogers told me that an underground facility is a half block from my home, and I have a print screen to prove it. It's not my word against Rhonda's word. That's what she didn't say 3/4 of a block. She didn't say 2 blocks. I've wondered if this underground facility is near home on Westmont Court because it has a nearby water well and the same weird brick mortar problem my home had. I believe this was caused from digging under the home. See, I was told there were 4 underground homes, and obviously one's in my backyard, and I'm thinking another one might be here in this empty lot that's a half block away. And that's exactly what Rhonda Denman Rogers said. It's not my word against her word. That's what she said. I've got a print screen of it. She can't say, I didn't say that. Yes, you did. Lisa Rogers told me I was shot with a .45 handgun, which fits the evidence. There wasn't enough room for me to be shot with my 12-gauge shotgun. The police had falsely claimed that I'd shot myself with my 12-gauge shotgun because they were trying to turn this failed murder into an accident. I have the print screen to prove this too. And here we go. Lisa Rogers, you're not disabled with a .45? Well, okay, how do you know I'm shot with a .45, Lisa? That's kind of specific, She didn't say a .38, right? She didn't say a .22, And she knew exactly what size gun I shot with, a .45 handgun, and that fits the space requirements. Sonia Renee Callahan was recorded telling me about watching 13-year-old missing child Haley Dunn being murdered at a home over in Odessa. An eyewitness testimony recorded over the phone. I secretly recorded her, and she says, "Buddy, what was I supposed to do? It was either her and me or just her." That's what she said, and that's on that phone call right there. It was ignored by law enforcement again. I have a print screen showing that Taryn Thomas said that she heard from about 10 people. Let that sink in. 10 people that they shaved Haley Dunn's head before she was supposedly overdosed, and that she was buried in the backyard of a home over in Odessa. I got all kinds of people documented saying Haley was killed over in Odessa, overdose, gang members, all this. Here's Taryn, you know. I think it's safe to say that the mom, dad, and the mom, stepdad, as well as Haley were on dope, you know. And Julia Brendel says, I heard a similar but slightly version from a friend who talked to the man that said he did it, killed her. And Julia Brendel said mom did sell her, that the mother sold her. Okay. And so I wrote my deal, and then Taryn, she goes and gives us her stuff. She says, I heard from about 10 people that they shaved her head like 2 weeks before she supposedly overdosed. Why shave her head if you aren't trying to hide her? Now, supposedly, she was buried in that same house's backyard. So I'm thinking Taryn and her 10 friends might be somebody you want to talk to. Is what it seemed like to me, if you were really trying to solve the murder and not frame some other guy. All righty. Let's go to the next one. Where were we at? That was Taryn Thomas. Yeah, let's go here. I have print screens that Brandy Dunn and Jessica Hadley Lee told me that the murders of Haley Dunn and Cody Mercer were recorded, and that the police have the recordings. Jessica described them as disgusting. Let that sink in, okay? This is more Haley Dunn stuff. And this Brandy Dunn contacts me, and she tells me, she says, there's a video, and the cops have it. I said, a video of what? Haley's murder? Yes. It was the video of Cody Mercer's murder. The cops have both of them, okay? Then Jessica Lee, she's telling me the story here, and I said, it sounds like you're talking about Cody Mercer. Brandy Dunn said this to me. And Jessica said, yes, that's correct. They videotaped the whole thing. It's disgusting, and it's absolutely true. Okay, so 2 people said there's murder tapes of Haley Dunn, Cody Mercer, and the police have them, and they don't even make the news, and ain't nobody even investigating. Literally, I mean, that's what's going on. Former Congressman Mike Conaway sent me a letter and advised me to contact U.S. Inspector General Mike Horowitz to report corruption in the FBI, DOJ, and the DEA. But he never replied. See, that's who is supposed to investigate the corruption in federal departments. I had called the DEA just about a week before and reported suspected tunnel here, and then next thing I know, I'm shot by somebody under my home, right? You know, so I think that maybe they set me up at the DEA to have me killed. And then the FBI there, you know, I just showed you a minute ago, they were destroying evidence that I sent them. And then the DOJ, I sent a letter to the DOJ suggesting they look here for Haley Dunn. 2 days later, her remains are found in Scurry County. Anyway, here's the congressman, letter from Congress, official letter from Congress. Mr. Webb, this is on 2015, Office of Inspector General, Department of Justice General Mike Horowitz. And I did about 50 times, and I never even got a call back, a reply back, nothing, okay? And then I also found out Mike Conaway's brother-in-law used to live across the street from my house. Well, that's real suspicious, since I got an underground home in the backyard, and there are 4 underground homes here and all that. But I just found out here this week, I was going to a estate sale. I looked up the owner, and it said Michael Horowitz. So then I'm talking to the guy that was having the estate sale, and that's the same guy. It was the guy that Mike Conaway had me contact. That owns a home right here in Midland, Texas. I wonder if he'd been in the underground homes. Maybe that's why he didn't reply back, and he was okay with them crimes being committed against me and everybody else. Jordan Sosa told me that him and his friends were found a tunnel at a home on Bedford Street, and underground there were rooms and beds. He said it went towards the direction of my home or Home Depot, and I later found out that the home used to be owned by one of my kidney doctors, and now I'm on dialysis. Ain't that interesting? Okay. And there's the address. Jordan says it's 2011 Bedford Drive. He said in that house where we found a tunnel when we were in high school. Okay. He said, I was 17 doing remodeling work on a house in Old Midland, about 2 streets north of the stadium. We found a door where it shouldn't have been one. All of us being kids, we got curious, walked through the tunnel for about 2 to 3 miles going west, and they were a direct route going towards Target and Home Depot. That's where I live, right behind Home Depot. According to GPS we used to find where we were, and we found rooms with beds, chairs, tables, dressers, and belongings underground, And so once again, normally what the police does is they just call everybody's a liar. Everybody's a liar because they don't want to fight crime. They're covering up the crimes and murders here, and that's why they're calling everybody a liar, or calling them crazy, or whatever, just ignoring it. Ricky Ronaldo told me that him and his brother used to go in the tunnels under my home when they lived here. I have the print screen to prove it, Once again, what are you going to do? We're another liar. It must be another liar. It's the 1,000th one today, and we don't have no crime. Detective Rosie Rodriguez perjured herself in court, said she found a tripwire attached to my shotgun. There's no tripwire in evidence. Proof shows I was not shot with my gun. I have the transcript of the court case to prove this. This is the transcript right here. This is Rosie Rodriguez, detective of Midland, Texas. There was a tripwire that went across from one wall, from the south wall and north wall. It was connected to the shotgun. That's an absolute 100% bold-faced lie by this dirty cop that's covering up a premeditated home invasion capital murder attempt. And the proof shows there ain't no tripwire in evidence, right? And the proof shows I wasn't even shot with my gun. I mean, that's the dirtiest copy I did in Texas, I think. April Chandler stated on the police reports that she found my voice recorder in my closet and it was checked into MPD evidence. But when I got the evidence logs, I found out this was a lie. She lied. She also stated that I was a paranoid schizophrenic when I wasn't diagnosed with a horrific disease. In fact, I was cleared by mental health at the hospital due to the life-destroying lies being spread about me, and I have the medical records to prove it, okay? And so here's the police report, and that's the nurse's notes at the hospital, There's a voice recorder in the closet. I was talking to the voice recorder. The burglar alarm's going off over and over. Detective Rodriguez in the room. This is what the nurse all wrote down in her sheet. And then Chandler here, she says that buddy's house found his voice recorder in the closet. It's checked into MPD evidence. But when I got the evidence logs, that was a lie. It wasn't. The whole case, when the case was closed, it was not checked in. Matthew Davis, in 2019, writes on my YouTube channel, I stole the evidence, nobody ever found out. And I think that's what happened, is that April Chandler had given the evidence to Davis. Davis stole the evidence, but with her help, of course, because she falsified the police report multiple times. ER nurse Cresswell wrote on the nurse's notes, and they said, note that I said, proof's at my house, just go look, there's proof. She also documented Rodriguez to be in the room. It's found in my medical records. She also documented me saying the alarms kept going off. And Rosie didn't know this was being documented by the nurse, so she made up her own lies. And so basically, there's the nurse's notes on the tops. I have proof, just go look, there's proof. Talking on the voice recorder, all that. And then down here at the bottom, Rosie Rodriguez says, I'm saying alarms going off. I'm under a home invasion, right? And Rosie said, oh, buddy said he's logging up for the night, knocked his gun over and shot himself. That's what she said. She made it up. And then she made up another lie saying that I said my phone wasn't charged. That's why I crawled out. And she was excuse making because she couldn't come up with a reason why did I crawl out. Well, the reason was because they had stolen my cell phone and cut my phone lines before they shot me. This was a premeditated murder attempt. She was making up a lie to cover up that premeditated murder attempt. I told you she's a dirty cop. DHS agent Paul Cervantes sent me a text message that I believe showed he was trying to talk me into selling my home and moving due to the threats to my life. This text message on the day I showed him where the human trafficking murder tunnel was at, and 2 weeks later, concrete was poured there. So it's Paul with Homeland. That's Paul Cervantes. And here's what he wrote me. Paul, let's get something clear. I was not trying to talk you into selling your home today. I simply asked you why you wouldn't consider selling your home if you continue to feel threatened in there. So now we understand. He says, well, since you're under the threat of death, why don't you sell your home? I said, why don't you arrest the criminals? That's why I'm coming to you with evidence, and then nobody has to move, it's crazy. The police are trying to get me, or the law enforcement is trying to talk me into moving. I reported him to the Inspector General, but I didn't know the Inspector General had a house here in Midland. I bet he's friends with some of these Midland people. Maybe he's been in the underground homes. Arthur Welch, the former boyfriend of the ex-wife, posted on Facebook that he overheard her planning my murder with her police friends to steal life insurance, and she had taken my life insurance books a few weeks earlier. And her friend was Rosie Rodriguez. That's who it was, And here's Arthur Welch posts on Facebook. And things I heard her say, she tried to have him killed for insurance money, and to hear how many police were involved, one her longtime personal friend. And her personal friend was Rosie Rodriguez. The one was tampering with evidence, lying on police reports, perjured herself in court. Former MBD Sergeant, Secret Police Matt Davis, wrote on my YouTube channel, "I stole the evidence, buddy. Nobody ever find out." Yeah, right. And guess what? It's not my word against Matt's word. They are so I don't know what do you call it, so confident in committing their crimes that they brag about it online. Here's a premeditated capital attempted murder, almost crippled a Christian man for his life. I was literally home minding my own business and had been reporting crimes like a good citizen should do, and these cops were involved in the crimes. Lance Eggleston sent me a private message and said, "We have access to your residence at all times. Nobody will ever believe your story. You'll be silenced. Not if, but when." And I said, "When are you going to murder me, Lance?" I got so many death threats, man. I just said, I've already been shot and crippled for life, and you're going to come in here and you're going to threaten me, right? And nobody ever believe your story. We will come again. You'll be silenced. Not if, but when. That's what he said. And, like I said, what are you going to do? Stick at home and shoot me again? April Chandler wrote on a detention form that I'd caused myself to suffer a gunshot wound when I hadn't shot myself. She was trying to blame me after being shot during the home invasion. What was amazing on this was the timestamps. I crawled out at 11:42, and then at 10:42, and then at 11:03. So that, what is that? 42, 18, 3, 20, 21, 22 minutes. 22 minutes later, she's writing on the report. Mr. Webb showed paranoid to the extent she started to write "shot myself" and scribbled it out and said he caused himself to suffer a gunshot wound, a wound to the ankle. Well, I wasn't shot with my gun, so what she's saying is that somebody broke in my house and shot me, and they're trying to blame me because they broke in my house and shot me. That's literally what she's trying to say. At 11:05 p.m. on January 28, 2012, MPD Lieutenant Dickey said on the police report that he was inside my home, but he hadn't been seen arriving on security cameras that showed Woodward and Naylor arriving 4 minutes earlier. This is what proved him and 4 other officers, Davis, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale, were under my home the night that I was shot by somebody under my home. I didn't get that police report. That's the line in the police report. Nobody in the house, inside, and lots of odd things like booby traps. And that was 9599, which was Tony Dickey at 11:05. And here Martin County Sheriff and late Midland County Deputy Mike Naylor showed up at 11:01, 4 minutes earlier, and they were seen arriving. He's inside my house. He wasn't seen arriving. Well, was this Star Trek? He just like zoomed himself in there, and that's, no, he didn't. He come in from the underground trap door from where I was shot at. That's what happened. There were cops under my house. And that's where they're falsifying, tampering with evidence, falsifying police reports, and trying to cover up this premeditated capital attempted murder. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I got lots more evidence, and it's just absolute lawlessness what's going on here. What I finally wrote, I think at the end, up here. Here, let me go. And many more proofs of the crimes and murders connected with the underground homes and tunnels. The problem is that we've lost rule of law, so proof and evidence no longer means anything. So, that is very, very important. Even though you have proof right here that somebody said something, and you have just overabundance of proof of multiple murders, violent crimes, police corruption, it doesn't matter. I don't know what the answer is. I guess they're just going to keep killing people in their homes. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.